What's up, people? This is the People's Podcast presented by the Wrestling Republic. It's your boy Young Michi, aka Scooney Mac, aka Young Twiggy, and my co-host is.
Or the beast finally awakened the beast. You know, the one, the only John White. What's pop?
And this is episode 20. Episode 20 of the People's Podcast on the road to WrestleMania is drawing nearer. It is the next pay-per-view, but we got to talk about it. Monday Night Raw took place. We all thought Brock Lesnar was going to face Bobby Lashley. It just seemed like their rivalry has been happening for at least a year, here and there, just facing each other. That was going to be the match at WrestleMania. At least that's what we thought. We all thought that. But now we got Brock Lesnar versus Omos, and we got Bobby Lashley versus Bray Wyatt. Tell me your thoughts on both of those.
Ain't none of this make any sense. You know how you hit the random button sometimes on WWE SmackDown versus Raw. You know what I'm saying? You just get some random matches spit out. That's what it looked like, or it looked like, you know how when your rivalry run out of dates before the pay per view, it just gives you a brand new rivalry on the spot. That's what it looked like, dog. Like there ain't none of this making sense. Not a damn thing. Because it was like, it looked like the build was supposed to be Bobby versus Brock. What the hell going on here? And then on top of that, man, I'm finding out. Hopefully, this is all true, right? That Vince kind of greenlit this, but Brock didn't want to work with the Fiend. And I'm kind of thinking about it. Yeah, it makes sense. Because why would you want Brock to lose to the Fiend, or why would you want Brock to stomp? You know what I'm saying? The Fiend right now. It would make no sense. So having them face Omos would be a good idea, but it's just like out of nowhere Omos. And Omos hasn't been around damn near for like what, 4 or 5 months? Like, yeah, we know he had a couple matches, but he hasn't been in a part of official series. And just for Bobby to get slotted in with Bray, it kind of makes no sense. What you think about it, man?
I'm going to say, well, with the news that you just let me know that possibly, Brock Lesnar wanted to work with Omos. Because at first, according to the internet, it was just like Vince kind of just wanted to, it was kind of like Vince was just going to take the blame for this. Vince wanted to see Brock versus Omos, and that's the reason why that was going to take place. But if it is that Brock Lesnar pretty much wanted to work with Omos, then okay, I mean, if you're Vince, what can you really do? If you're the creative team, what can you really do? You just gotta let Brock. You want to be on Brock good side, so you kind of gotta let it happen. But to me, if I'm just thinking about it from a creative standpoint and from a fan standpoint, and someone that's looking forward to WrestleMania, I am not looking forward to that match. Brock versus Omos, like to me, I guess the biggest moment of that match that's probably gonna get like the live fans hyped is when Brock Lesnar F5s Omos, pretty much like just showcasing his level of strength. But other than that, it ain't nothing to look forward to for me personally. I'm like, Omos is just gonna get buried, pretty much. Omos just lost to Bobby Lashley last year at WrestleMania. Why would we think that he's going to beat Brock Lesnar? He's not going to beat Brock Lesnar. So then it's just an automatic win for Brock, and I'm surprised that Brock will possibly even want that match.
I do. I agree because I remember in that match with Bobby Lashley, I believe almost had a bit of a slip up that kind of hurt Bobby a little bit in that match. So I'm very curious, man. But then again, though, hey, we need to make new stars, and giving almost something to do with a top guy like Brock kind of makes sense. But we got to see how this plays out because they already got MVP slotted in to do all the talking. So it's only a matter of time. But like I said, it feels like we ran out of time on the game to make the the storyline continue, man. And so we just got a new one just out of the blue. We got to rework it.
And then another thing too, it's like I'm one of those people that was saying that I mean, I kind of got tired of the Brock and Bobby Lashley rivalry, But at the end of the day, it just seemed like the culmination should have been at WrestleMania. Like their last match they just had at Elimination Chamber, Brock Lesnar freaking got DQ'd. He low blow Bobby Lashley. You telling me their rivalry is supposed to end on a low blow by Brock Lesnar and then they just move on from each other? That doesn't make any sense to me. Like what? Like their
Yeah, man. It's bad, man. You know how many matches have a low blow in it and then nothing happens?
I'm like, but to me, each time they faced each other, it was like there was no definite winner. Like it's been a roll up pin, which was one of the worst ones I've seen when Brock Lesnar won. Oh my god! And then like Bobby beats Brock Lesnar, becomes the freaking what is it, the Universal Champion at that time, I believe, or was it the Raw, WWE Champion? But basically, he becomes the champion. Brock ended up becoming the champion right again, faces Roman. It was like just things that kept happening. So it never gave us that culmination of being like, who's actually better? Like who actually will win that match and won the rivalry? They never gave us that. And maybe that's what they want to end it with. They want to end it with, they want them, both of them to look good at the end of the day. But to me, it just pretty much like we was a waste of time over this past year of their rivalry just for it to end on a DQ low blow. It's like what? That doesn't make any
Yeah, it
sense.
kind of hurts my soul because it's like that's the kind of matchup I was like hyping up over for like a year on paper. Like I can't wait to see this match. It's not like what I got.
Exactly. So that's how I feel about the Brock and Omos and the Brock and Bobby Lashley rivalry. In terms of Bobby Lashley versus Bray Wyatt, um, I don't know how I feel about that. To me, I think I rather would have seen Brock and Bray Wyatt. I think that would have been more interesting. But Bobby Lashley and Bray Wyatt right now, uh, I just don't. I don't really. I don't think that's the right matchup to me, because Bray Wyatt, the charisma he has. Bobby Lashley doesn't have that same charisma on mic as him. So then it just seemed like a random rivalry. That's what it seems like. It seems like a random rivalry. It seemed like those two shouldn't face each other right now. That's how I feel about those.
Ooh.
So
You know
that
what makes less sense to me? It's like I understand Triple H wants to make WrestleMania smaller, but I'm like looking at this like, bro, what is we doing? Like we're just throwing anything at the wall right now. God, you know what would have been a better match, right? We could have just shifted it up. I would have much rather have Brock Lesnar versus Edge at WrestleMania.
mm, yeah.
You know, would have been a way better match if we just had Brock versus The Rock. But Rock over here just being unfit.
I think I would have rather seen Brock versus Edge, even though even though it kind of would just be random too. But if we're going in a random motion, then it's like I would have rather see that match. But um I don't know what they're doing with this. I don't even to me I don't know. As days go by, I'm becoming less excited about this WrestleMania card. I'm not gonna lie. A few months ago, last year, or even last year, I was super excited, wanted to get my tickets, and then now as time goes by, I'm like, I don't know. I don't know now. I don't even know. Wait, what you say?
Really? Saying it, G.
So, but that is Brock, almost Bobby Lashley, Bray Wyatt. That was the two matches supposed to take place at WrestleMania. I want to ask you about this. As time goes by, as well as we're getting closer to WrestleMania, for the first time, Roman Reigns and Cody Rhodes is going to have that face off on this upcoming Friday Night SmackDown. How do you feel about the Bloodline storyline right at this moment? How do you feel about it now?
Uh, I feel like it still got more story to tell. I just wish this is why I missed the early 2000s because we would have had Roman regulating Cody Rhodes almost every other week. You know what I'm saying? But it is with Roman. He'll sometimes show up, he'll sometimes not show up. So it's kind of right now. It's kind of we're kind of in neutral right now. You know what I'm saying?
For me, I'm like, see, I don't know. I get the moment is for Cody Rhodes to become, WWE Universal Heavyweight Champion and undisputed champion, but I'm gonna sound like that one guy that's gonna bring up Sami Zayn again.
Please
And
stop.
to me, I don't understand the whole point of the entire year with the bloodline storyline with revolving around Sami Zayn just for us to let Sami Zayn get one chance at the Elimination Chamber in front of his hometown, get very close, have a great, amazing match, amazing storytelling, and then it's just over. And then it's like, we're just moving on from that. Roman Reigns is facing Cody Rhodes. It just doesn't make sense to me right now. I just feel like there was still more to tell with that story. And of course, we still got the Sami Zayn, Kevin Owens, who side Jey Uso's on. Is he going to be on Sammy's side or is he going to return back to Jimmy's side with the Usos? I get we have that question that we're still needing answers to, but to me, I just feel like that's too small of an event. Even if it culminates to Sami Zayn and Kevin Owens facing the Usos for the tag championships, to me it just seems like that just seems too small to me. I don't know. How do you feel?
Well, at the current moment, the way I've seen about it, it looks like it's going to be Solo Siakam versus Kevin Owens at WrestleMania card. And my only issue with it is I like how it is pure aggression with those two, but I feel like they need Solo needs to have a personality in place versus just being generic or just Umaga light, you know what I'm saying? And to make me want to see something like that. And if it is like say for instance Sami Zayn and Kevin Owens versus like the Usos or Jimmy and what's it called, Solo at WrestleMania for the tag team belts. I could see it happening, but it's like we need a little bit more. Got to put a little bit more gasoline on this. You know what I'm saying, man? It ain't it ain't on fire like that, man. It ain't hit like the way it should. And
That's
I
what
do agree. Maybe this could have been a triple threat match at WrestleMania.
to me, because then if WrestleMania is a 2 night event, it's like, what is about to happen right now? Because to me, what's gonna okay? So let's say at this exact moment, the way it's feeling, it's like Roman versus Cody is gonna be one main event, one night. Then the other night, what is gonna be the main event? Because to me, it's like it just seems like to me the best booking would be Roman versus Sammy one night and Roman versus Cody the next night or something like that. But to me, it's like I don't know. I feel like and then to me it just still don't make sense. Like okay, let this be the decision. Okay, let's just imagine it's the Usos versus Sami Zayn and Kevin Owens for the tag championship belts. But it still wouldn't make full sense to me because Jey Uso seems like he's still close with Sami Zayn. So it's just like, why are they facing each other? Like, I mean, I guess they could because the tag titles is on the line, but and then it just doesn't seem like Kevin Owens is fully buying in just yet with Sammy as being like close friends again. So then it's just like I'm supposed to believe they can beat the Usos right now when the Usos is like I don't know. It just seems I don't know. It's just a little the bloodline storyline to me has obviously been the best storyline over the past decade, but right now for the first time in like a year, it just seems like the storyline is getting a little weird. Just weird now at this point.
If not, I hope there is a big surprise in store because that's what it feels like. They got like a big surprising story. They just want to keep everything as quiet as possible. You know what I'm saying? And I hope it isn't as we see things as is. Because imagine like night one main event John Cena versus I don't know who cares, right?
Austin.
Or worse, Goldberg retirement match night one wrestling main event. Who wants to see that? Nobody.
Yeah. I don't know. It's just for the first time, it really does seem just a little wacky right now. But Friday Night SmackDown, everything could change. And what if Sami Zayn interrupts the face off between Roman Reigns and Cody Rhodes? And then, like, he's trying to get into that match to make it a triple threat match. I would rather see that, or I would rather see, Roman defend the titles both nights. But to me, just Kevin Owens, Sami Zayn against the Usos, and then Roman just against Cody Rhodes, it just seemed like it would be like, dang, that whole bloodline storyline didn't give us that conclusion that to me it really deserved. Especially having such a great storyline, and to me it needs a definite conclusion. Similar to like how I feel about the Brock and Bobby thing, it doesn't have a definite conclusion. Like I would need that from the bloodline storyline. Give me like a full conclusion and I'm like, okay, it made sense. It came full circle. Right now it just seems like they're kind of just doing stuff now. Random again.
Like I said, this whole WrestleMania card looking like it's missing something. Because remember how last year went? We had Stone Cold Steve Austin night one, and then we also had what's it called? We had Ronda versus Charlotte. We also had the Jackass crew slated, and we also had the first ever match for Logan Paul. Like it was like it looked like we had matches ready to go and they were firing all cylinders. Right now it looking so up in the air because we're from what I'm hearing, we're getting a battle royale. Like who wants this? Who asked for this?
That's why I'm like so confused.
Yeah. And I'm like, my thing about the battle royale, which I despise, everybody who wins it at Mania, don't nothing happen for them. Like, why do we keep doing this? I get it. Everybody wants to be at Mania. Stop it. You got to tell some people to ride the bench. Hell, welcome to catering. Or give them something to do. And I get it. AJ Styles is hurt. We just got to make something happen. And I say this would be the perfect time to go hire I forgot Cuz's name, but he just got released from New Japan Wrestling. Since he's a member of the Bullet Club, it'd be perfect to just slide him in with like a 10-day contract or something. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Ah, man.
Like last year WrestleMania, it just felt bigger than the way this one to me supposed to feel. This one is supposed to feel even bigger than last year because we had such a great year of storytelling. But then it's like it's kind of seeming. Now they still got time to change this. I'm not going to just write it off. They got a lot more time still, but it just seems at this moment it's kind of stale. It just seemed like it's just kind of falling off. But, to me, we still need since the WrestleMania is going to be in Hollywood, we still need some people from Hollywood to start showing up on Raw or SmackDown, giving us something. Like we had the Jackass crew. We need something that's just going to make it feel bigger. The Rock was supposed to be here, so I know that's a big letdown, but we don't know. The Rock may still show up, so I guess that could be a surprise. It just seems weird right now. So I got to see how Friday Night SmackDown goes with the face-off for the first time with Roman Reigns and Cody Rhodes and see how that goes. But that may be the only match I look forward to.
I still got to watch Monday Night Raw because I'm like kind of tilted at like, because like I was like watching some highlights and clips and making sure just to get all my notes together. But Damage Control lost to Trish Stratus, Lita, and Becky Lynch.
So what happened is they lost to Lita and Becky Lynch, who became the new women tag team champions, but Trish came out and helped Lita and Becky Lynch because obviously, Damage Control is 3 members and they were cheating and stuff like that. Trish came out did her surprise return and helped Lita and Becky Lynch, and then they became the new women tag champs.
Gotcha,
So
gotcha. Yeah.
so yeah, so I'm like, that's another huge kind of random thing to me too. I'm like, that was just another random thing for me. I'm like, don't get me wrong, I love Trish Stratus, I love the return of her, and then I love Lita too. But it just what really just seems random to me is Becky Lynch and Lita becoming tag champs. I'm like, didn't the last time we see them they faced each other? I'm like, this is just
Yep.
so random. I'm like, it would have made more sense if Trish and Lita became tag team champions because we know they're best friends. So I'm like, it just seemed like random stuff is just happening right now, and I'm just like, what's going on?
No, I agree, man. It ain't none of this making sense. Also, let me quick thing to say. Hey, Charter Spectrum, you're one of the most garbage internet connection providers and cable providers ever. I can't watch the NBA, can't watch the NFL when I wanted to, can't watch the XFL, and I can't watch Monday Night Raw until I got to backdoor everything because y'all don't want to carry Fire Stick providers. Freaking trash ass company. God, I can't wait to go back to AT&T, man. Can't wait.
That's
Fucking garbage. Anyways, though, I'm gonna say it like this though, dog. It's everything is real up in the air right now. They got to make some real good decisions. Only thing we do know is slated is that we're probably gonna get Dominic Mysterio versus Rey Mysterio at WrestleMania, and we're also still gonna get Edge and Finn Balor to finally end this rivalry.
that's a match
And I'm gonna ask you to,
yeah.
yeah,
I know I was gonna say that's a match I'm looking forward to actually seeing. Even though I'm tired of that rivalry, I'm actually looking forward to that particular match. Like Edge and Finn Balor, I think they can just tear the house down. But yeah, I'm if anything, I am looking forward to that rivalry being over it though. I'm like, can we put Edge back in something just a little bit better? Just a
I'm
little
just
bit
saying
better.
if we written the script a little better, we could have had Edge versus Brock, or we. I'm just saying, as bad as this as an idea this sounds, we could have had Spear versus Spear, bro, at Goldberg versus Edge.
We need something like bigger. It doesn't feel as big as WrestleMania is supposed to feel right now. Um,
Yeah, because we're missing AJ Styles. Typically, AJ Styles, you slot him in, or you slot in Randy. You can give those guys a star power, and we're kind of wasted Seth on a Logan Paul match. So I'm just like, the hell, man.
I was just about to ask you about that. How did you like as time goes by? Though I know they can have a really good match, and I know they're going to probably tear the house down. It just seems like Seth Rollins should be a part of something bigger. Like
Oh yeah.
Logan Paul, he could face, he should have faced like John Cena or something like that. It would have made more
Mhm.
sense to me, especially it's in Hollywood. Logan Paul and John Cena, that would have been great. But Logan Paul facing Seth Rollins, even though I know it's going to be a great match, Seth Rollins is in his prime, and Seth Rollins is one of the best right now. So it's like he should be in something bigger than facing Logan Paul right now. It just seemed like this. I don't know. The booking so far just seems a little off for me.
It feels like though, like you know how they say the term, it's on the pulse. That's what it really feels like, and we can't read the pulse correctly. And for me personally, I would agree. It should have been Logan versus John Cena, and then we could have had Austin Theory versus Seth Rollins, or if not, I would have liked Montez Ford versus Austin Theory versus Seth Rollins. I think that would have been a really good match to have. But
You know what a really good match though. I think I
was
wouldn't have
a
mind seeing Seth Rollins versus Sami Zayn. Honestly, I wouldn't mind seeing
nah,
it.
I'm not against that, but I think we've already seen that, right? The Revolutionary versus the Messiah back in COVID.
I feel like the how big Sammy has gotten over this past year, even though it would have been kind of random. I don't know how we would have got that rivalry to start. I just feel like that would have been a bigger match. Um,
I agree. I agree.
but yeah, I'm like Seth Rollins is kind of yeah versus Logan Paul. Don't get me wrong. I know it's gonna be a great match, but it just doesn't seem like the right decision to me right now. Yeah.
Shit, we would have built up Bobby versus Brock. It would have been a better slate, and then we could have. Then it's like, then I kind of get it because like, what are we gonna do with Bray Wyatt? And I could have been like, hey man, Seth Rollins versus Bray Wyatt could redeem yourselves match.
Yeah, or you to me, I would have had them face the Usos. I would have had him and well, I forgot the name of with Howdy. I would have had those two face the Usos. Um, yeah, that's what I would have did because my original idea is Sami Zayn and Roman facing each other. Of course, barring The Rock, but like it would have been Roman and Sami, and then Roman and Cody Rhodes. So I would have had Usos needing to face someone for the tag championships. I would have slid in Bray Wyatt and Howdy to face the Usos.
Shit, we missed a prime opportunity to build up and make a tag team of Omos and Cuz I forgot Cuz's
Braun
name.
Strowman.
Yep, we missed that opportunity.
Yeah,
Oh man! On top of that, the New Day is on NXT still, so it's like, oh man,
it's just a bunch of random stuff going on right now. I'm like, what's
it feels so. Look, we ain't got a vision for nothing right now. We're all over the place.
and
At
then
least we know that the women's division is a little bit more straightforward because at least we know Asuka versus Bianca is gonna happen because Asuka won the Elimination Chamber, and we also do know Rhea Ripley is gonna take on Charlotte. At least we know those are set in stone, and people are gonna want to see those matches. I want to see those matches.
yeah, I actually do want to see those matches too. That's why I get why. I mean, I kind of understand why you make Becky and Lita tag champions because it's like Becky and Bailey are two stars right now, and it's like they're not in the championship matches, so you kind of gotta still put them in something that would still attract people. So then you probably what's probably gonna happen is Becky Lynch and Lita are going to defend the titles against Bailey and then someone from Damage Control or something like that, so they could still have a match that can at WrestleMania because they're still stars. So I don't know. It just seems like a bunch of random stuff. And then even to this, like we didn't talk a little bit about Elimination Chamber, but Montez Ford, he looks like he should be a solo wrestler. Like to me, it's like he had one of the best performances in that Elimination Chamber match for the United States title. And then right after, we just put him back with the Street Profits. Like, it just seems like some random stuff happening to me. I'm like, Montez Ford is clearly a star in the making. I'm like, when are they going to roll with that? Roll with him being a single, competitor.
What's crazy is that from The Rock to like I want to say a couple of WWE legends all been saying like Montez Ford is that guy, and then he's kind of proven that time and time again because we seen him on pay-per-view after pay-per-view where he's really the highlight. And every time I do tell people about the Street Profits, they always be like Montez Ford is that guy. He got the best frog splash in the business. I'm like, yeah, I've been telling y'all this for years, and it's a matter of time, but it's like, what do you do? Do you Marty Jannetty, D'Angelo Hawkins, and hope for the best? Or do we turn them heel and just have them start running amok?
I don't know. That's the tough part because D'Angelo, yeah, that's the sad part. That's the sad part about stars, though. Like, when someone is in a tag team, but he clearly stands out like Montez Ford, it's like, what do you do with the partner? What do you do with D'Angelo Dawkins? I'm like, I don't know what to do with him, honestly. Like, I don't know. I guess to me, just not thinking about it too much, but just doing like a quick fix is I'll bring back the Hurt Business and throw him in the Hurt Business or something like that. But yeah, at the end of the day, Montez Ford is a star, and he clearly showed it in the Elimination Chamber match. And it's just like, when are they going to run with that? And then it's like, who's going to face Austin Theory for the United States title? Like, I know it's rumored that John Cena is supposed to face him, but to me, I don't understand why that would happen. Like, Because are we gonna have John Cena face him for the United States title? It's like I don't. It's just weird.
Uh, it's and it's like and we know John's not gonna win it because John is already slated for like 3 movies coming up next in a couple coming months. Actually, as I think about it, so he can't risk getting hurt in a match, kind of or hold on to the belt for that long. And with these matches, don't make no sense. So hey, man, I hope Triple H got a plan because this is looking rough right now, man.
Like I would. I mean, I don't mind seeing Austin Theory versus Montez Ford. I think they can really have a great match. It doesn't have a lot of like star power, but in their case, you don't really need the star power. They're both they can steal the show if they put on a great match as they still building each other up. So it's like I would I mean, and then even Johnny Wrestling, he had a great showing at the Elimination Chamber as well. So I think he could be also in that United States title contention as well. With so I'm just like, it's just some weird stuff going on. It's just some weird stuff. Hopefully we get some answers to all these things. Um, but I did want to talk about this. I want to bring it back to Roman a little bit. Roman is on his way to 1,000 days as the Universal Heavyweight Undisputed Champion. Should he break the 1,000 day mark or should he lose at WrestleMania to Cody Rhodes?
Break that 1,000 day mark, buddy. Let's do it.
Mm.
Yeah. Keep that hate train going a little bit longer, man. Because it's like what? We're about 940 days, I want to say, or 50.
Mm.
And it only take like a month and a half from no 2 months. It would take like too much. I mean, a month and a half from after Mania for him to eclipse that 1,000 day mark, man. Because it's March 2nd at the moment. So I'm just saying, man, we should probably let it happen. At the same time, though, we're letting Cody miss out on winning at Mania, which is like one of the biggest things out there for somebody. It's a rough. That's a rough one, man. That is a rough one. But I'm going to say let Roman eclipse that 1,000 day mark because we're probably never going to get a champion to hold on to the belt for that damn long. You know what I'm saying?
I'm going to say he should lose at WrestleMania. The reason why I think, because to me, him making it to the 1,000 day mark, it doesn't really do much in the grand scheme of things. Like, in the grand scheme of things, him hitting the 1,000 day mark is not going to matter compared to him losing at WrestleMania. Like, he already gave us one of the best title runs in the last decade. He's given us the best storyline in the last decade. Him hitting 1,000 days wouldn't do much. He already proven everything. It's like he already gave us so much great content. So to me, so many great matches and great rivalries. Him hitting 1,000 days would just be for records purposes.
So
But
let me interject real quick.
Mm-hmm.
I don't mean to cut you off, but I'm gonna propose this to you right now. Right?
Mm-hmm.
Is this even though you said he's gotten all these things done, he's done such a great run. You wouldn't. I know you wouldn't put him over Kurt Angle. I know you wouldn't put him over Shawn Michaels. I know you wouldn't put him over Ric Flair. Would you put him over Hulk Hogan, The Rock?
Oh no, I'm not putting him over The Rock. I wouldn't put him over.
Yeah.
I wouldn't put him over a Hulk Hogan because Hulk Hogan. If it depends on what type of question we're asking. If we're talking about wrestling wise, Roman is a better wrestler than Hulk Hogan. But if you're talking about superstardom, the business isn't what it is today without Hulk Hogan. So we just gotta. I know Hulk Hogan gets a bad rap because of things that didn't happen recently, but if we're just talking about wrestling, pure wrestling, Hulk Hogan was probably the greatest babyface of all time, or one of the greatest babyface of all time, like top 3. And he was probably the greatest heel of all time as well. You don't really get that. The person that's also one of the greatest baby faces was also able to be one of the greatest heels, like, and create one of the greatest factions. It's like, yeah, Hulk Hogan, he ain't over Hogan. I'm sorry. If we're talking about just compare, like, pure wrestling and entertainment and stardom, yeah, he ain't over Hogan and what Hogan accomplished in his day. But Kurt Angle,
Yeah,
hmm, obviously Kurt Angle's a better wrestler. That's a tough one right there. Cause I don't.
because the reason why I propose it like that is because of the fact more accolades and more ways to grow this legend of Roman Reigns is what helps him eclipse a lot of these guys in the grand scheme of things. You know what I'm saying? Because Roman has almost hit that point where he's considered a superstar in wrestling, like a true one. And I'm like, I'm at that point where I'm saying we got to probably push this even a little harder than we have to. You know what I'm saying?
I definitely understand that. But I feel like reaching 1,000 days mark, it doesn't. To me, it doesn't really help towards that. To me, what really submits your legacy and allows you to eclipse other legends is the amount of moments you create. And like hitting records like this doesn't really matter because like when we think of uh when we think of Randy Orton has held the title, the championship belt more than Triple H. He has held the belt more than most wrestlers and most of the greats. John Cena is almost on the way. If he wins another one, he'll eclipse Ric Flair. That doesn't mean we look at them as greater than those who have less title reigns. So in the same way, I think it's different with wrestling. Like for like the NBA championships matter a lot. Accomplishments like that matter a lot. But to me in wrestling, I think it's the moments. It's the moments that really stand out to you. And just great character and great storylines. That's what stand out the most to me. And I'm like, that's why when I think of Roman Reigns, I'm like, him hitting 1,000 day mark wouldn't really do much for me. It would just be like, dang, he hit the 1,000 day mark. It would just be that. It'd be like, but to me, it wouldn't. That wouldn't surpass everything he did with this Bloodline storyline. I'll be like, the Bloodline storyline is what really makes him a superstar to me, and what he did for the
Oh yeah.
past year. So him hitting 1,000 days, I don't feel like he
3 years.
need. Yeah, the last like 3 years. So to me, I think he should lose at WrestleMania. And plus, Roman is not showing up every day now. He's not showing up to every taping now. So I'm like, I want us to finally get a champion again that's literally there every week. So I'm kind of, you know, I'm 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 tired. I'm kind of tired of like that happening for the most part. I'm like Roman. If anyone deserves to not have to show up every week, is Roman. But I'm like Cody Rhodes is in his prime. He wants that title. I think he is the next big star, in the WWE. So I think, and he's probably going to show up every week. So I want Cody to, become champion at WrestleMania and kind of, start a new, you know, pretty much help start this new era of wrestling for us.
All right. I respect the decision. I mean, you ain't wrong, and I think you are very valid. I just think about it like this from a standpoint of guys like CM Punk and stuff like that. As I think about it, you kind of did kind of kill my CM Punk argument because he had a year-long reign, and don't nobody remember what really happened in between.
That's what I'm saying.
All we remember is The Rock ended that reign, and then he went on to go face Undertaker, and then get beat on by Brock.
That's why to me, I'm like, yeah, it's just like the records like that don't really, yeah, it don't really matter. It don't really matter as much to me. The only record in the business though that really matters, that really did matter, was the Undertaker streak. But the reason why that mattered so much is because every year it was built up. The streak itself kept being built up. They're not building up the Roman record of hitting 1,000 days. They're not really building that up. It's more so if it happens, it happens. But the streak, every year that was built up, and that was a moment in itself every year at WrestleMania. So I think that was the only record that really meant something. Um, But yeah, so I'm rooting for Cody to win, but I'm also rooting for Sami Zayn to beat Roman too. I'm like, if you're gonna have him lose at WrestleMania, he might as well lose to both of them at this point and split up the championships.
I kind of only want one championship, Doug, because I don't want to go back to like I don't want to go back to like having two belts, right? And obviously one getting treated lesser than the other. Like I said, I keep dragging on the World Heavyweight Championship, but I keep bringing it up because that's the best looking belt, and that was one of the best belts in wrestling. And it got treated as if it was a tier 2 belt that didn't really matter in the grand scheme of things. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, but I
So,
think when I think of the championships being split, I feel like it gives more of an opportunity for more stars to be created because there's going to be one star that's going to come out of this, and that's Cody Rhodes. But there's still a good amount of other stars in the making that could really, become a superstar. Like Seth Rollins could become a superstar, but he's kind of put into all these little lower class storylines because he can't go after the championship belt because only one person can go after that basically. So I think I think a Seth Rollins, I think a Sami Zayn is like on the rise. And then of course, we need more time to see how these other people, continue to progress. But that's the reason why I think you should split up both the belts. Um and I think like Cody should have one, and then I think Sammy should have one, but temporarily. And then Seth Rollins will ultimately capture that one. So I'm like, having two top tier champions like that and they're there every week, I think that's going to help build more stars in the making. So that's the reason why I think it should be a split championship until Roman comes back again. And then Roman, because to me, I think Roman is going to take some time off. So
oh yeah, most definitely.
let us go to the last topic. How was Sasha Banks treated in the WWE when she was here? We had this debate, and I want to bring the people in on this debate. Was Sasha Banks ultimately treated good in her time being with the company, or was she treated bad? You tell me first, John.
Honestly, I think she was treated badly because I feel like they kind of treated her like a transitional champion every time she got the belt, and I do feel like this is really due to the fact Vince doesn't know what he was holding on to versus what Triple H had. Triple H obviously like loves Sasha and obviously wants to do and was trying to get into the best position. In fact, part of the reason why we know about Sasha is because Triple H is believing in her. And that same level of care and belief didn't go into what Vince McMahon wanted for him. Vince was, when he gets obsessed with something, he kind of like sidetracks everybody in between and just does not care. Grand example would be with was when we had the storyline where we had Triple H beat Booker T when it should have been Booker T's time to win, but he was so fixated on Brock versus Kurt that nothing else mattered. And I feel like that kept happening with Sasha. And if you paid attention to Sasha Banks, interview with Stone Cold Steve Austin, she'll let you know she was tired of getting treated like the side chick, pretty much. Like she was getting tired of the cards she was dealt. So I feel like she's one of the best. She's one of the four horsewomen, and she's probably either not the second best or the best out of all of them, next to Charlotte. And she wasn't getting her proper due.
I'm gonna say, okay, I don't think she was treated bad. I don't think she is treated as great as she should have been treated because I'm a huge Sasha Banks fan. She wasn't treated like Charlotte. That's how I feel. She wasn't treated like Charlotte, but that doesn't mean she was treated
Or Becky.
badly. Like to me, she just never got her real championship reign, like an extended championship reign. She never really got that. But outside of that, Sasha Banks, like, she accomplished everything in the business. And I think she would accomplish more even if she returns. She will accomplish even more. So I'm like, to me, I can't really say she was treated badly. Like, you become Raw Women's Champion multiple times. You also was a SmackDown Women's Champion. You had the first ever women's main event. Basically, was it the first? No, it wasn't the first ever. But y'all put on a 5-star amazing match with her and Bianca Belair that puts over Bianca. And since then, Bianca has been champion still. So, for the most part. So I'm like, Sasha, I don't think she was treated badly. She just didn't get that extended, championship reign. But outside of that, she's done everything. She was in the freaking women's Hell in a Cell match. She was in the Raw Women's Royal Rumble and in it for an extended amount of time. I believe she was like in one of the years she came in at like number 1 and was in the match for a long time. She still needs to win a Raw Women's Royal Rumble. Feel like that could still happen though. So I'm like, I can't say she was treated bad. She just wasn't treated like Charlotte
Nor Becky.
or
Keep bringing up Becky for a reason, Doug.
and she was the first ever women's tag team champion. Her and Bayley. So I'm like,
but let's look at it in the grand scheme of things. They may have been the first ever for a lot of these things, right? But they never held on to cement them anyway. Because let's remember, when her and Bayley became those champions, what did we do? We gave it to the Iconics at WrestleMania in that trash match where there was like, what, 5 tag teams at the same time? And the Iconics aren't even in the WWE no, but they're in TNA, I think. We gave them the belt for no reason.
I mean, there's definitely some points. I'm the biggest Sasha Banks fan, and I feel like she definitely could have been treated. She could have been given that extended like championship reign. But outside of that, imagine if she would have got that. To me, she literally has accomplished everything in the business. So I'm like, to me, all she basically needs is a real like lengthy championship reign. But that's why I'm like, I can't really call that bad because there's a lot other people that's gotten a lot less opportunities. It was like kind of dogged.
But how many of them were as good as Sasha though?
I mean,
I'll say right now, Sasha blows Trish out the water when it comes to wrestling ability.
like if we're talking about men right now, I feel like Seth Rollins could be treated better.
Mm-hmm.
Definitely could be treated better. But Seth Rollins is also kind of going through that little similar stage right now where, he's just not being treated at the, very best that he could be treated to me. But to a lot of that goes to because this bloodline storyline was just over the top. And Roman is just really good. And there's no split championship belts. So but I mean, yeah, I'm the biggest Sasha Banks fan, so I'm like, I do want to see her back in the WWE at one point in time, and I feel like she's going to be given that. She's probably going to eventually come back, win the Women's Royal Rumble, and then like go on to face whoever the champion is at that time. So, but let us know in the comment section, people. What y'all think? Do you think Sasha Banks was treated badly in the WWE, or was she treated good? Or she just wasn't treated as good as she deserved. But with that being said, you got any words for the people before we go?
Oh man. All I gotta say is, hey man, there's a goal you're working towards. You don't hit it the first time. Hey, try again. Cause like I'm gonna keep telling it the same way I've been telling all my friends. You gotta keep swinging. Eventually, you might hit a star. Or you might hit something out there, man. Just don't stop.
Yes, don't stop. Keep going. With that being said, hopefully we get answers to a lot of our questions we had with this podcast, and hopefully we get a great WrestleMania, y'all. Cause it would suck if the WrestleMania just kind of is not as good as the year of storytelling has been so good with the WWE. But only time will tell. That being said, this is the People's Podcast. presented by the Wrestling Republic. Follow them on all social media platforms and also follow DJ's One Heart. And we'll see y'all in episode 21. Peace out.